What's up, everyone? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm Denise Salcedo, and today we are chatting all about the black and gold brand WWE NXT. That is right. We are kicking off the wrestling week once again with NXT. I will be back on Friday talking about AEW Dynamite and Friday Night Smackdown. But here we go. Let's get things going. For those of you who are new to the show, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining. For those of you who are returning people, thank you guys so much for coming back once again. We had a pretty interesting episode overall of NXT. It was not a bad show whatsoever. Kind of gave us a lot to talk about, especially being the go-home show for NXT Takeover in your house this Sunday. So we kind of got a lot to get into, but we're going to kick things off with our overall thoughts on NXT. We'll jump into the show, talk about things in chronological format since it just makes things way easier. And then I'm going to close out this stream with some takeover predictions. So it'll be a really good time. Also, this stream is a very interactive show, so make sure you guys send in comments, questions, and statements as we go through. So here we go, guys. We actually have a couple of super chats, so I'm going to kick it off with some super chats here, and then we'll kind of go on from there. So let's see. We got our first super chat. This one is from Adam Blamplate, my creation. Adam Blamplate says, not the best go-home show, although Hit Row continues to be the coolest act in wrestling right now. You know what? I was a fan of Hit Row. I still consider myself a fan of Hit Row, but I don't think I'm going to go as far as to say that they're the best wrestling act right now. In fact, today I even have some criticism of Hit Row, and I will actually get there once I get to their actual segment, but I like Hit Row. But as of right now, their momentum from like when they first debuted to now has sort of gone down just a tad bit, if I'm just being realistic. And this is another super chat. This one is from Brandon Charles Powell. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says, Denise, thank you for that face morphing segment during the Wrestling Observer live breaks today. Looking forward to my nightmares tonight. I am so happy that people enjoyed the face morphomania. So for those of you who do not know, on Wrestling Observer Live, I do commercial breaks and I do bunch of random stuff. And today they aired my face morphomania. Now, I don't know if they aired just one or two, but I did create two of those videos. So I don't know if both of them already played or not, but as long as I know for sure one did, and it was so much fun to do. I kind of just sat there and was thinking of like random people to like mix together and morph them into one person. And it was a pretty awesome idea, I think, because everybody ended up liking it. So thank you so much to Brandon for sending this in. But let's see what you guys all thought here, guys. Send in your comments. We're going to start it off with overall thoughts on NXT, how you guys felt about the show. And then we'll kind of kick on with the rest of it as we continue on here. So I'm going to scroll through a couple of comments and see what people are saying. Okay, this one is from Colum, who says that there are so many people that shouldn't be in NXT right now. I'm kind of interested in who they might be. I know there are a couple of people that I always felt were better main suited for the actual main roster. So I'm curious. I'm pretty sure that it's the same exact people that you're thinking I'm thinking of too. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that there's a lot of people that should be on the main roster. Obviously, there should be a lot more considering the fact that we have some pretty slim rosters right now. So I do pretty much agree with this statement as well. And this is a comment from Mason, who says, fell asleep during the show. You know what? No, I thought NXT was pretty decent today. I thought it was an interesting show. It was definitely a lot better than last week, in my opinion. So I probably wouldn't go as far either as to say that it was boring or anything. Trust me, because I've sat through some boring shows, and this definitely was not it. This is a comment from Jordan Booth, who says, Triple H's reaction to Dexter hugging Poppy was the greatest thing I've ever seen. It was definitely my favorite segment of the night, and it had no business being this funny. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I know that a lot of people have different opinions, and usually not everybody loves the same thing, and there's always hate and all of that. You already know that. But I feel that overall, based on what I saw on social media, I kind of feel like everybody was sort of on the same page with this Poppy, Triple H, Dexter Lumis segment. I feel that everybody, for the most part, really, really liked it. Or even if you're not into the whole Index storyline, I think we could all appreciate that this segment was pretty funny. So thank you so much to Jordan Booth for sending this in. We actually have a super chat from Sexy Pheasant who says, "Hi, bestie." Thank you so much to Sexy Pheasant for sending in a super chat. I really, really appreciate it. And this one is from Joseph Boza, who says, "The show was decent, don't get me wrong. I agree with Denise, but the show felt like a justification for Triple H releasing 4 of the 5 matches at 11:45 p.m. on Twitter." Dude, when I saw the NXT Takeover in your house card, I knew for a fact that we were going to get several matches announced for today, and we definitely needed it. This is definitely a takeover where I feel like they have really rushed in terms of putting together these matches, and it felt very rushed. I will say that. I felt like we should have had some of these matches announced at least 1 or 2 weeks ago even, because it did sort of feel like we were waiting on a lot to actually be announced for today's show. This is a comment from Tamzeen who says, "NXT is way better than the main roster shows nowadays, with no same rematches, no same segments, and no same promos." Pomi Wrestling says, "This episode did a pretty good job making me excited for TakeOver, despite how rushed the build to TakeOver has been." And all right, good. Let's go ahead and get into the show, everybody. So here we go. Let's talk about NXT. So we are kicking it off with the opening match of the day, which was Austin Theory versus Oni Lorca. So I'm just going to start off by saying that this match here, I felt, you know what? Bless the crowd on this one, guys, because for the most part, the crowd was dead during this match. They were dead. There were so many points throughout this match where you can hear complete and utter silence. So even though this match was not bad by any means, it was not bad. It was like they were performing in front of nobody because people just did not care whatsoever about this match. And I thought like the crowd was getting into it at certain points. The only times where I actually felt the crowd was getting into this match was when Oni Lorca was chopping Austin Theory. And obviously people are going to get excited about, you know, seeing cool chops every now and then. So I think no matter what, they were going to kind of pop for that. But for the most part, the crowd was completely dead. So let's talk a little bit about it. So Theory starts off with several punches on Lorcan. Lorcan begins working on his shoulder. Theory gets him with a drop kick, and then Lorcan brings him down to the mat. And again, the crowd is completely dead during this point. And I have to say this, though, is that Austin Theory, he's not a bad wrestler. He's actually pretty good. There's been several matches of him throughout his time in NXT where I have actually really enjoyed his matches, depending on who he's in the ring with. And I do think that when you see the guys that are going to be improving when they go back on the road and when they start doing their NXT loops, I really do think that Austin Theory is going to be one of those guys that actually benefits from that because he is still young enough to be considered developmental. And I do think that once he starts doing the NXT loops, they really need to try different things with his character, because that's the thing about Austin Theory is that he's pretty decent in the ring. And like I said, can have good matches depending on who's in the ring with him. But the one thing that they do need to work on is his character. I really do think that right now the Austin Theory that we're seeing is not necessarily really what I think best suits him. And I don't know what best suits him, but I do think that they should try different things with Austin Theory and kind of see what feels more natural to who he is. So I do think that Austin Theory will be one of those guys that actually benefits from those NXT loops. I mean, obviously everybody's going to benefit, right? But still, I do think that Austin Theory has a lot of potential, and you can even see that in this match. But given the fact that no one really cares is what really actually hurt this match. And I don't really think that right now, same thing with Oni Lorca, I don't really think that the crowd really cares right now about Oni Lorca either. So it's just two guys that I didn't feel people had much interested in here. Again, we saw Lorca chop Theory a couple of times. That was the only time where I felt we actually had some crowd reaction here. And then we had Pete Dunne coming out. He comes out, they go to commercial, we come back from this, and both him and Johnny Gargano are essentially in their respective guys' corner. And I did think that this was a little dumb, though. So last week, we were talking about the beatdown that Adam Cole did. I did think that it was dumb that this week we literally practically waited until the end of the show to really even see the fallout from that. I'm sorry, but if I'm Johnny Gargano, if I'm Pete Dunne, if I'm Kyle O'Reilly, if I'm any of these guys here, I would be pissed. I would be more pissed at Adam Cole. I would be pissed that not only did he ruin the match and make me, instead of having a one-on-one match with a champion, instead I'm going to have to basically wrestle 4 other guys. And then not only that, he also weaseled his way into this match. If I'm one of these guys, I would be way more pissed. And I actually thought that it was dumb that they literally just came out and were part of this match on the outside of the ring. I thought they should have found a way to utilize their anger a little bit more, just so that they can show that essentially they weren't just like chumps like Adam Cole called them at the end of the show. So I think they could have done a better usage of Gargano and Dunne in this situation, but that is really the only thing that I was not necessarily a fan of. In the end, we did see Gargano and Pete Dunne go at it on the outside of the ring, and Lorcan get the win. So what do you guys all think about here? Let me see what you guys are saying. This one is from Brandon, who says, I can see why the crowd might not be interested. Why were these two wrestling? ? I know Johnny and Dunne are in the title match, but I'm not sure that's enough to get us excited for Theory on Oni Lorcan. You are exactly right. I didn't really think that there was a reason. They didn't give us a reason to care. And it's fine. Like, we don't always have to care about everything that they put out there, because we are going to be seeing, if we do want fresh matchups and all of that. But I kind of feel like they were expecting us to fully care about this match when in reality, nobody did. Nobody did. This is a comment from Blake, who says, I think the crowd was dead because Theory and Lorcan are promoted as inferior to both Dunne and Gargano. I think so too. And this is a comment from Pat CT Mania, who says, can't wait for LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. They are both so over that I don't care who wins. Oh, I'll have comments about that once we actually get into that segment, but I am curious as to what everyone's thoughts are on here. Guys, BTW, friendly reminder that this is a very interactive stream. Whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on Twitch, please make sure to send in your comments as we go through the entire show. I will be reading your thoughts as we talk about everything. And usually it's better to send them in when I'm actually talking about it, just so that we can sort of stay on the exact same page. This is a comment from Patrick, who says, this was just a match to have a match. Sometimes they have to fill time. Oh, well, yeah, obviously. I just felt that this really had nobody interested. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. All right, let's see. Actually, I'm going to bring one more comment. This one is from Chris, who says, Austin Theory needs a singles run. The way stuff is dragging. Yeah, it really is. I think that the way should be over and done with. I don't think there's ever been a moment where I've honestly can say that I've been a fan of the way. I think that since the beginning that they were thrown together, I just did not care. And they never won me over, ever. Honestly, the best thing that has come out of the way, honestly, is the Index storyline. And I don't even think they really needed the way for this Index storyline to get over. And I'm not saying the Index storyline is literally the greatest thing. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but at least I'm going to admit that there have been several times where I found it entertaining, to say the least, honestly. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So we had a quick vignette from LA Knight where he's shown in a mansion. He's taking a shower. He's in a hot tub with 2 girls. He's basically showing Ted DiBiase and the world how he can continue his legacy by being fancy schmancy. Okay, I like this. I'm not going to say I hated it, but I just liked how Cameron Grimes did it a whole lot better. But we will get to that. And this next match, guys, or this next segment, I am so happy about, because one of the things that I mentioned at the top of the stream is that NXT TakeOver in your house, we're sort of lacking NXT Takeover quality matches. When I looked at the card, there was really only two matches maybe that I genuinely felt that I was honestly interested in and felt like NXT Takeover quality matches. So I am so happy that they made this next match. But before I talk about that, we do have a super chat from Brandon Rosen. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says, can't wait for the $1 million ladder match. I predict old Ted will stick to his heel ways and help LA Knight win. But I hope Cameron Grimes climbs that ladder too. The moon. Okay, so I will share my NXT Takeover predictions once we get to it, but I will say this much so far is that I have to give credit where credit is due, and WWE has done a pretty great job at getting people to at least be interested in Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight, because I don't necessarily think a lot of us really cared. Maybe some of us might have had some interest before tonight, but I think that they definitely went the extra mile tonight specifically to make us actually care about this match, even just a little bit. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to this actual match. But here we go. So we had the Santos Escobar Legado del Fantasma segment here. So Santos Escobar comes out and he's pissed off. He's pissed off at Bronson Reed for essentially squishing him onto the plexiglass last week, which was an awesome spot last week. But then before he really gets much out, Bronson Reed comes out and basically he's laughing. He has them play the clip of him squishing Santos Escobar. He has it play all over the Capitol Wrestling Center. And obviously, Santos is pissed. So Santos tells him, like, get in the ring and come and we'll do it all again. Bronson Reed is game and he's heading straight towards Legado del Fantasma. As we all know, MSK and Bronson Reed have been friends the last couple of weeks. So then they all come out. So MSK comes out to join Bronson Reed. And this is essentially where Santos Escobar decides to put out a challenge to Bronson Reed and MSK, a six-man tag with all titles on the line, which means that MSK will be putting up their tag team titles. Bronson Reed will be putting up their tag team titles. So this is pretty good. I like this. I like the idea of this match. I'm happy that all the titles are on the line. And I really do think that this card really needed this match, because looking at all of the six men that are going to be in this match, you know for a fact that this is probably going to be one of the best matches of the night. And again, really, currently, this definitely is a takeover quality match. So what do you all think about this matchup? Send in your thoughts. We have another super chat. This one is from Dimitri Aguilar, who says, Adam Cole in the end just hypes me up. I liked the ending. We're going to talk about it once we actually get there, but I will have to say that I think how they utilized Adam Cole today was, for the most part, pretty good, especially in the ending of the show, especially with the closing end of the show. I thought it was a really good way to utilize Adam Cole, probably the best way for sure. So thank you so much to Dimitri Aguilar for sending in this super chat. All right, let's see what you guys all thought about this here. And this one is from Troy Butler, who says, I would love for Legado del Fantasma to be responsible for a very short title run for Reed. That would give Escobar great heat if he could spoil the Reed title run. See, I was thinking that they would probably do that, but I don't think so. I really do think that Bronson Reed will actually get, his moment in the spotlight and actually hold on to that title for a little while. I feel like it took them so long to give it to him, or not give it to him, but it took him long to earn this spot. And I feel like he finally got there. So I feel like I don't think that they're going to lose, but they can also do it in a way where it does happen, where they do end up losing. So again, I will brush into that more when I do my actual predictions, but I feel you on this. This one's from Dalen, who says, great segment. Bronson is awesome. Such a likable guy. It's really not that hard to like Bronson Reed whatsoever. This is a comment from Nicholas, who says, I had a feeling they were going to make this MSK Reed versus Legado del Fantasma match, but I was excited to see it come to fruition. Adding all the titles makes it even bigger. Oh yeah, I think once we saw that MSK and Bronson Reed had each other's back for the last couple of weeks. I think we all knew that they were heading into the 6-man tag, but I do like the way that they actually did it, especially because it was so easy, okay? This is what I like about this. It was an easy story because you have, on one hand, you have these bad guys, Santos Escobar, Legado del Fantasma, who essentially just want all the power. They want their championships, etc., right? Typical heels, they want everything, but they're also doing it in a way where they're not begging, they're not whining, they're pissed, right? They want retaliation and they want their titles. So on that end, I like what they're bringing. Then you have Bronson Reed and MSK on the other end of things, who are your natural baby faces, where they're coming out here and they're getting this challenge being made, and they're not taking 2 seconds to think about it. They're not going to cut us a whole 5-minute promo to get us to think about it. No, they were game right away. Like, they had that whole, well, it's fine. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. So I like that. I like the fact that it's clear cut. We know who our heels are. We know who our baby faces are. It makes sense. The story makes sense. Bronson Reed as a baby face actually has friends in MSK. So this is one of the storylines on NXT where I do feel that everything that has happened so far in this story actually makes sense. So I do agree with Nicholas's comment here as well. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, this is a comment from the Cantastic, who says, feels like lazy booking for the winner take all. Can't Santos and Bronson carry a singles match for the North American title? See, here's the thing, is that, look, they don't have to rush it. That's the thing. They don't have to rush it. I like the fact that they're doing first this 6-man tag match because they have something there. I like the way that they're actually weaving in these 2 title programs together. This isn't like when they weave in the women's tag team division with the women's title. That it doesn't feel that way when they do that, like on Raw, and when they've done it on Smackdown, that has been terrible. This actually feels like it makes sense, and you know you're actually going to get a good match out of it. And who's to say they can't do Bronson Reed versus Santos Escobar once again afterwards for the North American title? Like, they have a lot of potential with this storyline, which is why I do not mind that they're doing the 6-man. I'm actually even more excited that they're not necessarily rushing to doing Bronson Reed versus Santos Escobar. So personally, I'm a fan of this. And this is another, we have a super chat from Brandon Rosen, who says, Legado del Fantasma holding all 3 bouts would get them so much heat. It would be so awesome. I think so too, but look, I think so too, but I don't want to see Bronson Reed lose just yet. Like MSK, I like them as tag team champions, but I mean, okay, I would be totally cool if Legado del Fantasma won the titles, the tag team titles, but I'm not necessarily sure that I want to see Bronson Reed lose the NXT North American Championship just yet. So this one's a little bit of a toss-up for me. I really do feel like they could go either direction here with this match. I think this is one of the ones where I'm not completely sure in the direction that they're heading. I just know that they are going to go ahead and maybe prolong it a little bit, and I don't necessarily mind that whatsoever. And so, yeah, thank you so much to Brandon for sending in this super chat. This is a comment from Justin Martin, who says, the 6-man double title match definitely added some much needed oomph to Takeover. Gonna be a crazy match. 100% agree with what Justin Martin just said here. And we actually have another super chat. Thank you so much to Manuel Cifuentes, who says, hey, DWO, I'll admit my excitement for TakeOver went up a notch. So stoked for this Sunday, but curious, are those people at the CWC real fans or plants? Well, I was like, I think, isn't it like almost like the same people that go to all of these shows? I don't even know. I feel like it's always the same people, right? I don't even know, but it kind of feels like it. So maybe these are people that are just kind of like, all right, been there, seen it, done that. And maybe you just need to poke them a little bit more, because I didn't notice it for the rest of the show, a lot of the crowd. I mainly just noticed it for the opening match, where I really did feel like they weren't interested. But like everything else, I think for the most part, I didn't notice it as much. But thank you so much to Manuel Cifuentes for sending in this super chat. And we actually have another one from Wrestling Gamer. Thank you guys so much. Wrestling Gamer says, so Will the $1 million belt be an officially recognized title, or will it just be passed around between Cameron and LA Knight? I think it's just going to be for this specific story, only because, and again, I could be wrong, but depending on what happens and the outcome of this, I really do think that it's just going to be for this storyline, because I'm even thinking, like, who else can you necessarily do this type of story with? It works right now with LA Knight because he's doing like the douchey LA type of, character. And then you have Cameron Grimes, who's essentially, doing his thing where he just came into a lot of money. So it works with this story. And I kind of just want to see it for this specific storyline. So that's how I feel about that. So thank you so much to Wrestling Gamer for sending in this super chat here. All right, guys, so here we go. I'm going to continue on, and we're going to move on to the next topic here. Actually, before I move on, since we are talking about NXT, I did receive some awesome news today. I have been informed that this Thursday, I will get a chance to interview Raquel Gonzalez. So I will be chatting with Raquel Gonzalez this Thursday about her match with Ember Moon at NXT Takeover in your house. So that will be happening on Thursday. Interview will be up later Thursday evening. So I hope that you guys do check it out. If you haven't already, you can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. That interview will be up there. And if you think that there's a question that I should ask Raquel, hit me up on Twitter @_Denise Salcedo. Send in a question. If you're like, Denise, I really hope you ask Raquel this, by all means, send it in. Alrighty, everyone. So, I forgot to say that obviously after this match, not after the match, after the challenge was made for the six-man match at NXT Takeover, we did have Hit Row essentially come out and do a face-off with a stare down with MSK and Bronson Reed. So that's obviously a little tease there. I liked it. I didn't mind it. People are really feeling Hit Row. So I thought that was a nice way to sort of keep them in that picture without making it too, they kind of did make it obvious that they're going to be going in that direction. All right, guys, here we go. So after this, we had Killian Dane versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. And I think, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This was definitely the best match on NXT tonight. I'm looking down the card, and I'm confident when I say that I enjoyed Killian Dane versus Isaiah Swerve Scott the most out of every match that we saw here tonight. And surprisingly, I don't know if this is surprising, but I don't think I was expecting Killian Dane and Isaiah Swerve Scott to have such good in-ring chemistry with one another. I thought that they meshed really well here tonight. I thought this match was fun. Dane essentially gets Isaiah Swerve Scott with a bunch of uppercuts. We see him splash him in the center of the ring. You see Isaiah Swerve Scott kind of go all about the ring, showing all of his different athleticism. I really enjoyed all of that. And here's the thing about Killian Dane is that I feel he is sort of underrated because he's not a guy that necessarily does these flashy moves or anything by that means. But every time he's in the ring, he always has good matches with whoever he's in there with. So I think a lot of the times he sort of floats underneath the radar, but for the most part, every time he's actually having a match with someone, it always is enjoyable. I don't really recall coming out here in my past NXT shows and saying, I didn't like this Killian Dane match. For the most part, I always enjoyed Killian Dane matches. This is a comment from Tyler Wilson who says, they told their story and did well. I think so too. I really think so too. So, the only thing that I guess I wasn't necessarily crazy about, I guess it was fine, was really just the finish. So we had Swerve won after kicking Killian Dane to the back of the head. Dane was essentially distracted, which is really the only reason why I didn't like it, just because we're so over and done with all of the distraction finishes that even when they do it in a somewhat entertaining way, it just comes across as, oh, well, it's a distraction. So it kind of defeats the purpose. But for the most part, it wasn't even a terrible finish either. I will say that much. So Killian Dane gets hit in the back of the head by Isaiah Swerve Scott because he was distracted after Top Dollar did a horrible Death Valley driver on Drake Maverick. I'm sorry, but so far, from what I've seen of Top Dollar, he's not that great. And I feel bad because as much as I like Hit Row, that is my criticism. I think that Top Dollar so far has not shown really anything that I feel that I can get behind of. And I've said this before because in their first match that they had, I didn't like it. I didn't think that he did a good job. And so I really hope that he steps it up another level, because right now I'm not really feeling Top Dollar in this Hit Row thing. And there you go. That's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. What are your thoughts on Killian Dane, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Hit Row? Do you agree or disagree with my comments on Top Dollar? Send in your thoughts here. We have a super chat from Dalen Prada. Thank you so much, Dalen. Dalen says, okay, I'm so sorry, everybody, but I got to know. Denise, I'm sorry, but I got to know what you thought of that Shayna segment last night. I usually would never bring up Raw, but I got to know what you thought. So I shared my thoughts on the Shayna Alexa Bliss thing on my Raw post show, but because you paid for a super chat, I will definitely reiterate some of my thoughts. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I started laughing hysterically at this, and the only reason why I laughed at this because it was so bad. It was so dumb, where when you're kind of seeing something and you're in disbelief, so you just start laughing because you're like, I can't believe they're actually going with this. I can't believe this is what they think is good. And I feel so terrible because I don't want to dislike what I'm seeing on the show. Like, I do not want to dislike it, okay? Like, I hate when I have to severely dislike something. And here's the thing about the Alexa Bliss character that they're doing with Lily and all of this. I really think Alexa Bliss is doing some of her best character work because she is good at that role. She really is. It's just that the whole story and some of the creative decisions that have been made surrounding Alexa Bliss and The Fiend and Lily and all of this, it's not for me. Like, I feel like I'm a very open-minded person. I feel like I could, suspend my disbelief. I could like a lot of things. I could make myself like a lot of things. I have not been able to make myself like the story that they're telling with Alexa Bliss, even though I respect and love all of the, the great, like I said, great character work that she has been doing. The entire story has been falling apart. And I really do wish that they found a way to utilize the Alexa Bliss character, but in a way that actually works, though. And I'm not really sure what direction that would actually be, but I know that it's not this. And then with Shayna Baszler of all people, here's the thing, is that characters, gimmicks, whatever you want to call it, personas, they work the best when it's literally something that is realistic to them, when it's realistically who they can be, but instead just at a grander scale. And Shayna Baszler is one of those few people that you look at her and you think, oh, she can kick my ass, she can kick anyone's ass, and she is one tough SOB, right? Like, you look at her and you just know that. And then kind of seeing, they had her biting Becky Lynch, which was just embarrassing. And then having her come out and then do this scared of a doll thing. I mean, I don't know what that is, guys. I don't know. And then having her walk, in the hallways looking all scared, like those really cheap horror movies. I mean, it was not good. And then even in the ending, when the lights blacked out and you hear a scream, I felt really dumb because I tweeted, so is she dead? I felt dumb that I tweeted that, but in reality, that's what we're supposed to think, right? That Lily killed Shayna because the lights went out and she screamed. And that makes me sound dumb, but at the same time, that seems like that's like the story we're being told. So yeah, I was not crazy about it. So sorry if I went on a long rant, everybody, but I think for the most part, everyone will agree with me that this was not good. This is a comment from Twitch Face 4 who says, I like the Alexa character at first, but it jumped the shark for me the day she beat Asuka using magic. Exactly. They could have found a way to make this character cool. I really do think so. I really do think that because Alexa is so good in acting in this role, her acting is superb. I think they could have made it work. They went in a total different direction with this, honestly. It went in a different direction here. All right, so here we go, guys. We could really talk on and on about this, but let's go back to NXT. We're not talking about Raw today. Let's go back to NXT. Let me switch my brain, my gears up. All right, let's see, guys. Wow, how do I jump back in here? So we just finished talking about, Killian Dane and Isaiah Swerve Scott. So let's jump into the Cameron Grimes segment. We actually have here, thank you so much to Manuel Cifuentes who says, preach, Denise, preach. Every time I preach, this is what I hate. This is what I hate though. What I hate is that sometimes I just get overly excited when I start preaching or ranting or whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden it's like, my heart's pounding like at 5,000 miles per hour because like you guys riled me up, man. You guys riled me up and then I get too crazy and then, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. All right. Thank you so much to Manuel Cifuentes for sending in the super chat. Brandon says, let us refer to that show as the show that will not be named. Yeah, the show that will not be named, guys. All right. And Dylan Prada says that was great. Worth every single penny. Thank you so much. I give the people what they want, or I try to give the people what they want. All right. Cameron Grimes, a segment in his mansion. And all I got to say is this. Cameron Grimes' mansion was way better than LA Knight's mansion. I'm sorry, his mansion sucked. All right, if I'm gonna have a mansion, it's gonna be Cameron Grimes' mansion. His was like in a pool. His looked cool. So this opens up. He's in a pool and his face is in between some women's. That sounds really bad. He's obviously with a model by the pool side. They show him burning money. He's smoking cigars, drinking scotch, and just getting a massage. I gotta say, though, is that nobody can pull this off the way that Cameron Grimes pulls this off. When Cameron Grimes does it, it's funny. It's funny as hell. When LA Knight does it, you're just like, oh, rich douchebag from LA, move on. Seen it, been there, done that. When Cameron Grimes does it, you're just like, damn, this shit's funny. It really is. So I liked Cameron Grimes in this. I love this little vignette that they did. And again, we'll talk more about what happens afterwards. But let's move on to this quick attack. We had Zia Lee attack Mercedes Martinez before her match, and Mercedes Martinez still ends up doing her match even though she's hurt. She gets a quick win, and I like this. It was quick and simple, and for a match that I have zero interest in, and I mean zero interest in seeing Zia Lee versus Mercedes Martinez, for a match that I could care less about, I thought that they did a good job at hyping it up in like 1 to 2 minutes, if that could even be considered hyping it up. I think we care. I think if you care 10% about this match, you now care 13% about this match. That is the best way that I can go ahead and describe this. And we have a comment from Tyler Wilson who says, in regards to the Cameron Grimes LA Knight thing, says, I do like how this rivalry has really opened up his character. At first, I thought he was annoying, but now he's hilarious. I'm sure you're referring to Cameron Grimes there. Patrick points out that Cameron Grimes gave the masseur, is that how you say it? Masseur? A massage. Yeah, that was good. Blake Lively says that knee by Mercedes was stiff. Cyclops is better than Wolverine says, Zia is definitely going to destroy her on Sunday. I'm very invested in this match. I'm glad. I'm totally glad that you're invested in this match. I love it. Good. I'm happy for you. Patrick Ether said, Denise, was that the Scott Steiner math you did there? I only do Scott Steiner math. If you all see my shows, if you follow me on Twitter, there's one thing you will learn about me is that I am a terrible, terrible math person. I cannot do math. Math will be the end of me someday, okay? I'm terrible at math. So I only do, and I only believe in the school of Scott Steiner math. All right. Let's do this. Here we go. This is probably the best segment from NXT tonight, okay? If you hated this segment, we cannot be friends. Just kidding. All right. We had Poppy come out. They had been promoting Poppy. Good for her. Poppy comes out. She's chatting with Triple H and William Regal. Triple H is fangirling. Triple H is fangirling over Poppy. And he starts talking to her about when she's going to drop her album. And then Poppy, in the softest, cutest little voice, says, "Oh, now, like, I'm going to drop it now." And Triple H is like, now? Like, this is happening now? And she's like, yeah. And she pushes a button, and Triple H is like, "You really just dropped the album now?" And she's like, yeah. That was really that. And I don't even know. It's just funny because I started thinking to myself, is she really dropping the album now? I'm not a Poppy fan, guys. I don't follow her. I don't know whether or not she really was dropping an album. Turns out she did. It was like 5 songs or something from my understanding, because I went on her Twitter really quick because I was like, is this like for reals? I really wasn't sure. Now, I'm sure if there's Poppy fans here, you probably can give a better answer to this. But as somebody who does not know about Poppy or her music, I really did not know whether or not this was just for story or if it really was her dropping an album. I think it was, I forgot the name of it. Anyways, but it's like the NXT something, right? 5 songs on it. She drops that. And that's not even the point, though. So the point of this here is that Dexter Lumis comes out and he gives Poppy this drawing. I think the drawing was of her, and he gives her this drawing, and it was a really nice gesture. So of course, Poppy gives him a hug. Oh, and she gives him such a big hug. She's squeezing him, whatever. And then, like we all knew it was going to happen. We all knew it. We've all seen romance movies. We've seen a million shows, and this always happens. The girl walks in. Indy Hartwell comes in. She sees Dexter Lumis hugging Poppy, and Dexter Lumis immediately freaks out, eyes open all wide, drops his hands, is no longer even holding on to Poppy, and Indy Hartwell loses it. She runs off crying, and Triple H and William Regal are just having the time of their lives because they literally have their jaws to the ground, and all I have to say is this was funny as hell. I love this segment. I know people are going to hate on it. I know people are going to hate on this segment. And I'm sorry, sue me. I thought this was so funny because it was okay. So first of all, you had this really nice announcement. Okay, Poppy's dropping new music. Good for her. I like seeing Triple H fangirl over her. I thought that was really funny. And then you have the added addition of Dexter Lumis coming in, and he's really just doing something nice, something sweet, and essentially gets caught up in the wrong time, wrong place, hugs the woman, hugs him, and then bam, his girl sees it. I mean, it really was, I thought it was a really good way to do this, and I love this. I thought it was hilarious. What did you all think about this? Send in your thoughts. We have a comment from, a super chat from Brandon Rosen, who says, Poppy is NXT's Bad Bunny. I'm starting to think that Poppy is Triple H's Taylor Swift. I mean, they're even doing t-shirts together. That's awesome. But yes, I thought that this was really great. This is a comment from Troy Butler, who says, NXT is the perfect example of how to do comedy in wrestling. Indy and Dexter never fail to make me smile every week. Love it. Yeah, and I know there's people that hate the Index storyline. I can't help it. I've been liking it. There was only 1 week when I didn't like it, but for the most part, every other week, I've been a fan of it, even though sometimes it's been a little bit dumb, but I guess I'll take it for what it is. And let's see what else we got here. And this is a comment from Razor Gem, who says, is laughing at my Wrestling Observer Live video. So again, I'm assuming they played my Hollywood video. Okay, so if you guys were watching Wrestling Observer Live, there was a moment where all I had to talk about was The Rock and Vince McMahon's star, their Hollywood Walk of Fame star, being in the exact same section. And for the life of me, I could not get the line down. It was a line I wrote. I just couldn't get it down. And I even called Vince McMahon the Vince McMahon. The Vince McMahon. God, it happens. All right, Patrick says, I laughed so hard when Indy sees Dexter and Poppy hugging and runs off. Dexter using Poppy to make Indy jealous. Oh, and he did it with a rock star. Woof. All I'm going to say is this. If it would have been me, neither Dexter Lumis nor Poppy would have walked out of there alive. They both would have been dead. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Chris Cage 2X says, what if Poppy and Bad Bunny do a song together? God, can you imagine what kind of collaboration that would be? Alex says they brought back Poppy for her music to bring back Io Shirai. Oh, we'll get there as well. Let's see what else we got here. Sports 301 says time to put the belt on Poppy. Hey, she had the best segment of the night. I guess that means she's over, right? Hell, put the belt on Poppy. She can do it. All right, let's see what else we got here. Twitch Face 4 says Indy versus Poppy at TakeOver. Sports 301 says I was thinking of Roman versus Poppy at SummerSlam. Screw it. Give Poppy the belt. That's it. Poppy's going all the way. She's over. And let's see what else we got here, guys. Send in your thoughts. I'm going to see what you guys are saying. This one is from Joseph. It says, it's comedic. I love the storyline of Indy and Dexter talk about opposites attract. It's not even about opposites attract. Girls just like bad boys. Girls just like creeps. What can I say? All right. Let's go ahead and move on. So after this, we had probably one of the most, besides the Poppy thing, one of the most talked about things from tonight was the $1 million announcement. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit on the show, but let's really deep dive into this. So we have Ted DiBiase, LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, all in the ring here. And this is essentially their match was just going to be LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes, right? A regular singles match. Well, this then became, and I think everybody already knew that they were going to do this for the $1 million championship, but I don't think anybody was expecting necessarily the added addition of the ladder. So Ted DiBiase essentially announces that's going to be a ladder. They introduce the ladder. The ladder has the little money signs. Cameron Grimes climbs it, and then he looks up and he's like, well, there's nothing here. And that is when the announcement is made that it's for the $1 million championship. And wow, it looks so pretty and so shiny when they open that up. Yeah, I like this. Happy that they brought in the belt, especially because a lot of people were expecting it already. So I'm glad that they actually went this direction with it. And I mentioned this earlier, but I want to say it again. For a match that I could care less about and that I truly do not believe is takeover quality whatsoever, the fact that they made it into a ladder match, the fact that they did, these vignettes to kind of hype up this match even more, and adding the actual $1 million belt, all of that really added to me actually giving a dang about this match. Again, I did not care about this match whatsoever. I even kind of felt a little bit bummed that this was going to be a takeover match because, again, it's not a takeover match. But given that they added all of this, that they built this whole story around it, I think that they did everything they possibly could to get people to actually care just a little bit about this match. And now, I gotta say, I'm looking forward to it. Mainly because of the story. I don't know if the match is gonna be great or good. I don't know. I really do not know. But I just hope that it's not terrible. Matthew Makovsky says, I really hope they use the gold ladder. Well, they're gonna use the ones that they showed today. It was gold, right? With the little green money signs. Yeah. And let's see what else we got here. This one's from Troy Butler, who says, I don't think the $1 million championship would work on a babyface. LA Knight should win, in my opinion. He's the perfect embodiment of a millionaire douchebag. Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing, though, is that, oh, man, I don't want to see LA Knight win it, though. Like, I know that the story would work, right? Especially because, Cameron Grimes would just be livid. And anytime Cameron Grimes loses his mind, everybody loves it. But you know what, though? This could help LA Knight, too. Because if you think about it, we all know that LA Knight is limited in the ring. So we all know that he's one of those people that is definitely more suited for the main roster. We all know all of that. So maybe him being Ted DiBiase's protege and, having the $1 million belt will actually give him something, a little something more. So I guess if you look at it that way. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Tyler Wilson, who says, LA Knight has the look, but I think he really needs something more to prove himself in NXT. I think we just covered that. And Justin Martin says, I think we all knew the $1 Million Championship was coming. It was still cool to see it return, though. That bout is spectacular. Yeah, I agree. I agree, too. I definitely agree. And let's see what else we got here. Once again, guys, this is a very interactive stream. So whether you're watching on Twitch or whether you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and send in your thoughts, and I will try to get a couple of those read on the air. So if you want to feel included, send in your thoughts as we go through all of this. This is a comment from Pomi Wrestling who says, LA Knight is in a tough position. His style fits the main roster way more, but I don't want him anywhere near the main roster after what they did to the last charismatic guy, EC3. It's very unfortunate that we sort of feel this way about everybody. Like, he's too charismatic, but we know he's going to get destroyed on the main roster. He's really great in the ring and has a lot of potential, but we know he's going to get hurt in the main roster. Like, no matter who we're talking about, we all know that anything can happen once they actually go to the main roster. So, Blaze Rager says his birthday is on June 10th. Happy early birthday, Blaze Rager, June 10th. That's this Thursday. Happy early birthday. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. And so after this, we had, really quickly, we had Grizzled Young Veterans versus August Gray and Ike Manjiro. This was really a squash match. Nothing really impressive whatsoever out of this match. We are going to get, though, Grizzled Young Veterans versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher next week in a tornado tag team match. And here's my question. Why isn't this match on TakeOver? This could have been a TakeOver match. Hell yeah, it could have been a TakeOver match. But we're getting it next week, so there you go. And we also have a promo from Candice LeRae. She comes out. She's pissed off at Poppy. She's mad because Poppy gave a hug to Dexter Lumis. So Indy Hartwell left in tears. And Poppy comes out and again in the cutest voice ever says, I don't wrestle, but I know someone who does. And she introduces Io Shirai, and Io Shirai is back. Io Shirai comes out and goes straight to attacking Candice LeRae. She does a missile drop kick, and bam, she is back. And I'm happy to see Io Shirai back, but I really, 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 really hope that they do not do Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai. And obviously, the way that they brought her in, I feel like they're going to do it, but I don't want to see it because we have seen it 1 zillion, bazillion, gajillion times. Now, I hope this was just a way to bring back Io Shirai in a fun way with the inclusion of Poppy. I really hope that's it because I do not want to see Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai again. And, oh, wow, thank you so much to Jay Kane for this massive super chat. Thank you. Jay Kane says, since I missed your birthday, this one is for you. Thank you. Says, I'm loving NXT every Tuesday. Denise, would you be upset if Adam Cole won the NXT championship? No, I would not be. Okay. First of all, thank you 1 zillion, bazillion times. Virtual hug for sending in this massive super chat. And secondly, I would not be mad if Adam Cole won the NXT championship match. I just do think that it's been there, done that. And I have another person that I do want to see win the NXT championship. And I will talk about that once I get to my predictions for the actual show. So once I'm done talking about NXT, I will do some quick predictions for NXT TakeOver in your house. So once again, thank you so much to Jay Kane for sending in this awesome super chat. And we have another from Brandon Rosen who says, I can't help but question the decision to bring back Io Shirai now when they could have waited until Sunday and made a big splash at In Your House. I'm wondering if maybe they did it because they just wanted to, I don't know, include Poppy in something else. I don't know. I do think they could have waited. Honestly, I do think so. But at the exact same time, though, I think I'm being kind of hypocritical, though. You know what? No, I take that back. You know why I take it back? Because I'm always talking about how NXT needs to be more exciting. I'm always talking about the fact that they need to make people feel like you have to tune into NXT because if you don't, you might miss something. So you know what? I take back what I said about them probably bringing back Io Shirai at a takeover. Yeah, it would have been awesome, but they also need to have moments like these on NXT to keep the oh my God, keep the show on its toe. Okay, that's on its toes. That's what I wanted to say. Keep NXT really feeling like there is actually a reason to tune in each and every single week. Again, that unpredictability factor needs to be part of this show. So I do take back what I said, but thank you so much to Brandon Rosen for sending in this super chat. I really, really thank you for it. Okay, and all right, let's see what else you guys are saying. I'm trying to get as many as I possibly can here. And this one is from Dalen, who says, Io Shirai, please God, call her up. She's the best women's wrestler in WWE. She's just so awesome. Call her up. See, again, it's one of those things where people, it's like, yeah, you want to see this person be called up and go to, to Raw or SmackDown, but at the same time, it's like, well, what's going to happen to them when they go to Raw and SmackDown? But Jesus Lord, they definitely do need Io Shirai, whether it be the Raw women's division or the SmackDown women's division, because every single week we're talking about how they need more women on those rosters. So yeah, definitely, they could definitely use her on that. All right, guys, and let's do this. So we have another super chat, actually, from Matthew Makovsky. Thank you so much, Matthew. Matthew says, Adam Cole should win. Cole and Britt as champs. Oh, wow. Can you imagine those family dinners? Like, we're both champions. Can you imagine? Now, that really is a power couple. Wow. I would like to be seated at that table. Thank you so much to Matthew for sending in this super chat. All righty, here we go. After this, we had Ember versus Dakota Kai. And honestly, it took me a while to get into this match, but they kicked this match off. They both simultaneously kick one another, punch each other, and they're both, starting off the same way. So it takes them back a little bit. Dakota pushes Ember Moon. Oh, there was a spot that I really liked where Ember Moon is literally laying by the turnpost and Dakota Kai is on the outside of the ring, and she literally just pushes Ember Moon's body. And so Ember Moon's body kind of slides to like the right, and her head just bangs into the turnpost. I thought that was such an awesome spot. Oh, I love that. I actually popped for that. That was really cool. Then we see Ember do an outside dive to both Dakota and Raquel. Raquel ends up giving the boot to Ember and causes a DQ. So this was like this was an okay match with a couple of good spots, the ones I really just mentioned. And then after this, we see Ember Moon and Raquel go at it. Obviously, they have their match at NXT Takeover, and then Moon hits her with the Eclipse and lays her out. I don't think anyone actually believes that Ember Moon is going to win this match, but I do believe that it's going to be an athletic match. I'll tell you, I do believe that it's going to be a good match, though. Alrighty, here we go. Last segment, and then we're going to do quick NXT TakeOver predictions. So this was, for the most part, a decent segment. We had Regal and Cross. Basically, they kicked this off. They're arguing because Regal says that he's the one in charge. Cross says that no, it's his world now. Kyle O'Reilly comes out, calls Karrion Kross insecure. Gargano then comes out and basically tells Kross that how is he going to let a guy in a jean jacket essentially talk to him like that, and that he believes that Karrion Kross should choke out Kyle O'Reilly. And then he throws some shots at Karrion Kross, says that we all know that he's not the most graceful guy in the ring, and then Kross calls him a mark. Pete Dunne then comes out and says he's done talking, done waiting, and wants to show everyone why he's the baddest man on NXT. Then Adam Cole pops up on the screen, and this was actually a really phenomenal promo. He calls them all chumps for the attack that he did on them last week, embarrassing them last week, and they kind of were chumps last week. I'm not even going to go on that rant because I already went on that rant last week, but Adam Cole did make them all look like chumps. He then calls Karrion Kross a moron. Kyle O'Reilly says, Kyle O'Reilly then calls Adam Cole a bitch for not being there tonight. Kross pretends he doesn't even know Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly gets mad, slaps Kross across the face, and they all go at it, and the world's most terrible security comes out, and they try to separate them. Does nothing really. All the security looked terrible in this, by the way. And then Kross is literally raising his hand, raising the championship at the end of this segment. segment. But then all we see is Adam Cole come out and super kick Adam Cole. Adam Cole comes out and super kicks Karrion Kross. And then that is literally it. Adam Cole is the one essentially he's above all the men, last man standing. Thoughts about this? Again, I said this in the beginning, but I really do wish that these guys should have been way more mad at Adam Cole. They should have done something where at the top of this they had Johnny Gargano or Pete Dunne or Kyle O'Reilly. One of them, somebody, all of them going around looking for Adam Cole. They should have been looking for him. They should have been pissed off at him. Not only did he ruin their match, not only did he attack them last week, right? But he also ruined their opportunity to have a one-on-one match with the NXT champion. He weaseled his way into this match. And I know I already said this, but I have to say it again because why weren't they more angry? They should not have waited till the end of the show. They should have been pissed off right from the start. And I firmly believe that. That's my only issue with this. I think that they should have been more upset. So there you go. What did you guys think about this? And then we're going to jump into some predictions here. All right, we have a super chat from Joe Olivar WS. Okay, I don't think I said your last name right. I'm so sorry. He says, y'all catch the new Bad Bunny single. I did not. Unfortunately, I'm not up to date with Bad Bunny's music. I have listened to a couple of his songs when he was first introduced to the WWE world. I did go and listen to a couple of his songs, and I've seen his performances. I saw his performance at the Grammys and a couple of other performances that he did, but I don't really follow his music, but I like Bad Bunny. All right, let's see what you guys thought here. By the way, thank you so much to Joe for sending in the super chat. All right, let's see. Thoughts on this here. Brandon says, WWE budget cuts can't afford better security. Patrick says, this does seem like they might take the belt off of Karrion Kross, but I could see Kross retaining and having a singles match with Adam Cole for the title at the next takeover. Troy Butler says, if Kross retains, who challenges him next? All of your top guys are in this match. Hopefully they'll start building a new main event scene with guys like Swerve. Yeah, I do think that they didn't have to rush into doing this Fatal 5-Way. I think that they could have definitely worked their way into telling a bunch of individual stories. I think that probably would have, given them a good chunk of storytelling for the next couple of months. It does kind of feel like it was all, really rushed in. And I already said my piece about this last week, but here we go. Oh, Dalen Prada says, Denise, if Kross loses the title, I'll drop $100 super chat on Tuesday. What? Are you sure about that? Because I really do think that Kross is losing the title. I don't know, Dalen. I'm not going to hold your word here on this one, okay? I'm not going to make you send a $100 super chat if Karrion Kross wins, though. But somebody remember this, because let's see how broke I am that week. I might actually call you out on this. Just kidding. All right, let's see, guys. So let's talk about this. Let's do our NXT Takeover predictions. And since we're talking about it now, we might as well kick it off with this match. So we have Karrion Kross defending his NXT championship against Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne. So here is my pick for who I think should be winning this match, or who I want to win this match. Who I want to win this match is Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is the guy that they should go with here. And here is my reasonings as to why. So again, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, these are two guys that have cemented their legacy on NXT. They're two guys that have done it all. They have done everything in NXT. So that's the only reason why I'm not necessarily clamoring for Johnny Gargano or Adam Cole to win this match. Because again, it's seen there, been there, done that. So then with Kyle O'Reilly, I wouldn't necessarily be, no, I'm going to correct that. I would be bothered if Kyle O'Reilly won. And the only reason for that is that I like Kyle O'Reilly, but I do not like cool Kyle O'Reilly. I think that cool Kyle O'Reilly does not really feel authentically him. And I don't like it. I don't like the character whatsoever. I kind of hate it, actually. I didn't hate it before, but now that I think about it, I kind of dislike it very much. So I'm just going to be real with myself now. I'm not a fan of cool Kyle O'Reilly. So I don't want to see Kyle O'Reilly win. Cross, from the looks of it, from like the rumors and everything, I think we all feel that he's going to the main roster, and this is just a way of him losing the bout, and it turns out he might just be a transitional champion. So I think we all kind of feel that Karrion Kross might not be walking out of this match champion. And so with that, I think it definitely should be Pete Dunne. And the reason for this is that Pete Dunne actually really feels like someone who knows who he is on NXT. There is no doubt in my mind that Pete Dunne does not believe that he is the baddest man on NXT. I fully believe that he believes that he's the baddest man on NXT. And he's the kind of guy that I think can have awesome matches. He can actually have all the time takeover quality matches all the time. So that is my pick for this match. It is definitely Pete Dunne. All right, and so let's see what you guys are all saying. Send in your thoughts on who you guys want, who you believe will be the winners here. We have a comment from Patrick who says, Dunne would be my choice if I was booking. It would shake up the title scene. Unfortunately, I'm sad, but Patrick is not booking. Although if he was, I would like his decision very much. And this is a comment from, let's see, CC60 student who says, if Cross beats all four, what challenge is there for him after? Exactly. There's not really that much else out there for him. All right, here we go, guys. Ooh, Chris Cage 2X says Cross retains. Bold prediction. All right, we have another super chat from Jay Kane. Thank you so much, Jane. He says, you inspire so many people of color. We share in any success you have. You make it worth our time when we tune in to watch. Denise, does NXT need a major star attraction like Kevin Owens or Shinsuke Nakamura? First of all, Jay, thank you so much for the very nice comment. Yes, BTW, I am Mexican, so I'm always very, very happy to be here and like just, showing people that Mexicans are awesome. So there you go. That makes me very happy. And just, the Latino culture and all of that. Okay, here we go. Does NXT need a major star attraction like Kevin Owens or Shinsuke Nakamura? I think they do. I really do think they do. And for a while, I thought that it was going to be Daniel Bryan. Now I'm not so sure anymore. But I do think that having a big star like Kevin Owens or Shinsuke Nakamura would definitely help NXT, especially because WWE likes to say that NXT is essentially on par with Raw and SmackDown. Now, we all don't really believe that, even though the match quality is a lot better on NXT. We all know that Raw and SmackDown are essentially treated differently than NXT. NXT is still seen as a developmental brand. As much as they want to call it the third brand, it's still the developmental brand. And so I do think that having, some stars with like big names would definitely help out the show. So thank you so much to Jay Kane for sending in the super chat. We also have another super chat from Cyclops is better than Wolverine, who says, hope Cross goes to Raw so I don't have to watch him. Oh God. See, I like Karrion Kross and he's such a nice guy. And I feel like that's why I like him. I think that's why I like him so much more, though, is because I know like what a cool person he is. And I genuinely do think that they had the right idea with Karrion Kross and the packaging with him and Scarlett Bordeaux, because it's very different. And I like it. I'm a fan of all of that type of stuff. So I do think that they could have, I don't know. Something's just missing with Karrion Kross as the champion. And I don't really know what that is, but something is missing. And as much as I'm a fan, I can definitely acknowledge that still. Thank you so much to Joe, who is sending in another super chat. Says, if Dunne wins, who's the first challenger? Dude, they can even circle back. Like, they can tell a story here in this match, depending on how this ends. And let's say Pete Dunne does win, they can definitely go with something there. Like, there's still, I think there's a lot to be told there. I definitely do think so. So, thank you so much to Joe for sending in this super chat as well. And let's see what else. Did anybody else have any other predictions? All right. For the most part, I'm going to go ahead and move on. So after this, let's go ahead and talk about Raquel versus Ember Moon. So BTW, if you weren't here earlier, I did make an announcement that this Thursday, I will be interviewing Raquel Gonzalez over on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. And I'm so excited to chat with Raquel. I will be doing that interview with her. Obviously, I do think she's going to be coming out as NXT Women's Champion. I definitely have no doubt in my mind that she's winning this match. However, I do think Ember Moon is a good challenger. Unfortunately, the story for this match necessarily has been somewhat sort of non-existent. It's really based off an attack. That's kind of really what led to this match, and that's about it. So I do think the story leading into this match could have been a lot better, but I do expect them to have a good match. So I definitely do think that Raquel is winning, and based on the comments that I'm seeing, everybody here thinks so too. All right, team. Mercedes Martinez versus Zia Lee. I do think that this one, again, I have very little interest in this match, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Zia Lee should win. And the reason for that is that Mercedes Martinez is there to help build a lot of the other women up. So I do think that Zia Lee will be winning this match. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight in a ladder match for the $1 Million Championship. I'm going to go ahead and say that, I want Cameron Grimes to win, but I think they might give it to LA Knight. And I think that it would hurt LA Knight if he didn't win this match, because like, what else is there for him? I feel like Cameron Grimes, they can still do so much more. They can find a lot to do with Cameron Grimes. I feel like LA Knight might need this a little bit more than Cameron. So I don't know, because I do want Cameron Grimes to win. So I don't know. This one's a little bit of a toss-up for me. Really been a toss-up for me. But I think for the most part here, let's see what you guys are saying. This is the one that I'm interested about. Tyler Wilson says he heard Mercedes may be called up with Eva Marie. I did hear about that too. I don't necessarily know how I feel about that. And by that, I'm telling you, I don't really like the idea, but you can tell by the stanky face on my face. I'm not necessarily wild about that idea, but hey, it's just a rumor, right? Rumor. All right. CC60 says Grimes to the moon. Brandon says LA Knight will win to get that heat. Chris Cage 2X says LA Knight. All righty, guys. We got to get to the rest of these because I just realized how much time I've taken. All right. Let's see. After this, we had last and foremost. Okay, we did Raquel, Mercedes, Cameron. All right. MSK and Bronson Reed versus Legado del Fantasma. I also think this one could go either direction, but I'm going to lean more towards MSK and Bronson Reed retaining their title. So there you guys go. That is NXT Takeover in your house happening this weekend. I will be live tweeting about the show over on Twitter. Alrighty, everyone, that is our show. Also, BTW, Brian and Vinny will be on in about 30 or so minutes. They go on at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I can't talk anymore, guys. It's the end of the stream, but make sure you guys come back here. Brian and Vinny will be on talking about 1993 WCW Saturday Night with Granny. Once again, that is 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 a.m. Eastern Time, excuse me. And that is happening immediately following this stream. All right. Wow. All right, here we go. Last and foremost, I know I have like a million announcements. I will be back here on Friday once again. AEW is being preempted again, so I will not be on Wednesday. I will be on Friday talking Smackdown and AEW Dynamite. So I will be talking about both of those shows here on Twitch and on YouTube. All right, now I'm done. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Please help. If you enjoyed the show, please spread the word. Do not forget to give this video a like. Come back on Friday for SmackDown and AEW Dynamite. And do not forget to follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. Love you all. Thank you guys so much for the support. And I will see you guys on Friday. Goodbye, everyone.